Yo, welcome to episode 3 of the Rant. If you're new here, my name is Seymour, and this is my podcast where I talk about random things from productivity to basketball. I'm here with my friend Ahmed, and we are here to talk about time management. Today's topic is time management. Ahmed, what is time management?
So basically, time management is you have a bunch of tasks laid out for the day, and how much time you spend on each, and how much time you spend for yourself. That's basically what time management is.
So we need to acquire this habit. We need to know how to manage our time because, it's a good skill when you become an adult, especially when you're going into university. It's gonna be harder to manage your time because of the amount of work and the amount of projects you have to do. And have it managing your time is one of those things that will make you feel productive, and it doesn't stress you out or pile you up with all the work. And yeah, here's some methods that we can use to manage our time. So the first method is prioritizing things. So if we have many assignments or work that we have to do, but one of these assignments or a particular assignment is due in the next 2 days or in the next day, then we should prioritize that first. So we should do the important stuff first before doing the other stuff that's due maybe in a month or in a week. So doing that, we would not get stressed. So if we do stuff that's that has a deadline far away from it was assigned, it's gonna cram you. Not cram, but you're giving yourself work, useless work. Well, you can do it later. You know what I mean, Ahmed?
Yeah, I get what you. So basically, what buddy over here said is that if you have important tasks that are due tomorrow, you should do them first instead of doing tasks that are due far, far away, even though they may seem more appealing. However, don't leave tasks to the last day to complete them. If you have time, then use that time to complete those tasks, even if it's due far, far away. But again, do the tasks that are due sooner first.
Do the important stuff, the stuff that it's closer to the deadlines. That's what you need to work on.
Yeah. And bunch similar tasks together. Tasks like cleaning, washing the dishes, bunch them together. Alright, another method is to have schedules. Wake up in the morning with a plan in mind. Take a few minutes to jot down a plan for the tasks you want to complete today, for the projects you want to complete, for what you want to do today. And set alarms and set time for those projects.
Yeah.
But don't spend too long on them because that's poor time management.
If you were to create a schedule, you should have a schedule that's flexible, not the kind of schedules that have strict times where you should end by this time and this hour, or you're gonna skip it. Don't do that. Have a flexible schedule that will allow you to finish the work that you're assigned with. And yeah, if there's a limit of time that you have to work on this assignment, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be you're gonna keep on thinking about the time, which will put more pressure on you and stress. And yeah, that's basically the second method. The third method is setting up deadlines. Deadlines are one of those top things. Actually, this should be number 1, but we placed it on number 3. Deadlines. We should always have. We should always submit our assignments or any work that we have 2 days before the deadline. That's what works for me, because it's so much better rather than having to cram the next day, the day or the night before the due date, which is very stressful. So if we assign the work, not assign, but if we submit the work 2 days before, then it will give us time to look over it, and rather than cramming and thinking about should I restart this or should I edit a lot of stuff. And yeah.
To add on to that, setting deadlines doesn't mean having very, very strict times. It's good to have a plan in mind. It's good to have a deadline that you want to complete by, but also have a safety net time. And what I mean by a safety net time is if you don't get it completed by the first time, you have that extra bit of space to finish before the next
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
That's when you ought to be more strict.
Yeah, that's
So like if you want to finish 2 days before, but you just can't think that day and you can't finish, well then you have one more day to finish, but in that day you have to get it done.
yeah. If you can use a calendar and put deadlines on it. Don't stress yourself out. Like, don't be like, this is the day. This is the day where you're gonna complete it. Don't set really
Yeah.
unbelievable deadlines for yourself. Do like manageable.
Yeah, because that's gonna
deadlines.
have the opposite
Yeah.
effect.
If you have like
Yeah, it's gonna have the opposite effect. It'll stress you out more if you have like really strict deadlines where you have to complete stuff by.
do manageable tasks. So if you like have this really big task that you have to do, and like cut it up. Do it separate it and like cut it up into pieces and like it's up to you the way you cut it up. But just take baby steps, or like take small steps to complete like
Yeah.
this big task.
Yeah, because if you work for like 6 hours on something, you're gonna be burnt out and your ideas are slowly gonna get worse and worse and worse to the point where they're not gonna make sense.
Yeah, the amount.
So take time for yourself
Yeah.
too. Take time out of your day, not just for work, but for yourself. And if you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, take a breather, work out, increase your serotonin, dopamine, whatever, and take time for yourself. Do a task, complete a task that you know you can complete, even something trivial like making your bed, washing the dishes. It'll make you feel better about yourself, and when you continue to work, you'll feel better when you start.
And if you were to like straight up work for like 6 hours doing this like project or work that you need to finish, it's not gonna be the same quality. It's not gonna be the same like production, the same quality of production compared to a project that's made in like 4 days. It's not the same when you work 6 hours, and like there's a difference between 6 hours work and 4 days work. And yeah, just like what Ahmed said, you're gonna get burnt out like eventually for 6 hours. And like when you burn out, there's this crave to start procrastinating. There's this like urge to be like, I'm done, like I don't have any more ideas. I should go searching the interweb. I should go ask friends for any ideas if they have any, and from there, that's when you're gonna get hooked to social media, which will eventually make you procrastinate.
Yeah. And our last and final point is to block out any distractions when you're working. So like something simple. There's these apps that you can download for your phone to block out distracting apps like Instagram, Facebook, because apps like that, they're built to snare you and grab your attention essentially. So like when you're working, maybe put your phone on silent, download one of those apps, and if you know you have no self-control, do the responsible thing and put your phone in a different room, give it to a friend or something, so that you know you'll be able to focus on work and work alone.
Studies have shown that if students or an individual would like physically separate themselves from their devices, they would work better, they would produce more, meaning like you would start to finish the task faster with a really great quality, which is true. One method I use is like putting my phone under my bed and put it on silence. So if I do that, then there's physical separation, and I wouldn't get like any notifications or anything that will like lure me in the rabbit hole of social media. And those apps, like what Ahmed said, they're designed to make you give off dopamine. Like dopamine is one of those chemicals in your body that is released when you are excited or happy about something. And that's basically what dopamine is. And with the topic of dopamine, we should also add a time in our schedules where we can spend dopamine, or like we can be happy. I guess that's the better wording for it. So like exercising, that's one of the that's one habit to consider. Exercising every day, that releases a lot of dopamine. Maybe what else? What else, Ahmed? What else is a good example for releasing dopamine?
Doing things you enjoy. For me, it would be reading, working on my car, um, even anything that you enjoy, really, going for a run, watching some television, watching a comedy show, watching dramas, anything that you
Yeah,
enjoy,
just anything.
listening to
Yeah,
music.
anything you can enjoy, like, because a day without like having fun is a wasted day. That's what I'm gonna say. Because every day you should make the most out of, and yeah, having, if you were to make, like, if you were to set up a day without you spending any dopamine or like being happy, then that's kind of like a wasted day. We should start to, I'm
Yeah,
not saying that you should change your emotions and like be like sad and be happy and be like, no, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that every day we should set up ourselves to do something that will make us feel good. So like running, watching something that's entertainment on Netflix or something. And yeah, that's basically the methods of managing our time. We should prioritize, make schedules, set up deadlines, and block out any distractions that we have when we are working.
to add on to what my partner said before, there have been many studies to show, for students especially, that um, when the phones are near the students, even if consciously they aren't thinking about the phone, a subconscious part of the brain has its attention snared to the phone. So what the researchers found was that physical separation from the phones was not enough. If the phone was in the backpack, it definitely produced better results than if the phone was in the student's pocket or on the desk. But the best results were
Physical separation.
produced when the student left the phone in their locker. And to take that even a step further, if the student left their phone at home or didn't even have one, then they can't be trapped by the influence of their phones.
Because if you were to think about it, we're gonna be like, if our phones are like right beside us, we're gonna be too reliant on it rather than using the resources that we
Yeah.
have and the stock knowledge that we have in our head. We're gonna use our phones, like if our phone is beside us. But if we don't, we're gonna use active recall, where's this thing where your brain starts to recall all the things that you absorbed during a lecture,
Yeah.
or like a teaching, somebody teaching or something. And that's one of the great things that yeah, benefits you when you put your phone away.
Mhm.
We also need to like develop our, what's this called, self-control, rather than, like, picking up your phone like every single minute, worrying about somebody's notification, bro. Like, it's at this point, you have work to do and you should do your work first. There's no point of checking the notification. And if it was really important, if like the message was really important, they would try to call you.
Yeah, and that plays into self-control, because most of us don't have any self-control. There are ways to improve your self-control, and the number one is remove temptations. It's just get rid of the temptation that's causing you. So like if you're studying or something, your phone is a temptation, so get rid of it. Throw it, give it to someone, put it away. Yeah, and prioritize things. And those are all points we've been through together already. And yeah, but slowly build your self-control, and eventually you won't even have to have your phone out of the room. You can have it beside you and you'll be focused on work.
Like during like this quarantine or lockdown, like where we live in right now, it's hectic, and we're gonna be staying at homes, or in our homes most of the time. So we should like start to develop ourselves and be like work on ourselves to be to be the best version of ourselves. So like time management, stop like procrastination. We should like stop doing procrastination and like start doing time management, which will help us to become a really good and productive person.
You know, in a very twisted sense, we've been given a really great opportunity to improve our good habits or let our bad habits reign supreme. And this is like a really good opportunity for us to build our good habits, like self-control, time management, procrastination.
We have a lot of time in our hands, and we should use this time to make ourselves better, and yeah, we become more productive, because it's gonna help us in the long run. And if we don't like work on ourselves now, and we start working on ourselves and like doing self-development during like university, it's not gonna help you, because you're gonna be cramped and you don't know these methods and ways to like manage your time. So yeah.
The sooner you work on them, the better.
So yeah.
Now, since we're just clawing at shreds of ideas, I think we should end it here.
we're out. We're empty now.
We're out of
We're
ideas.
done, bro. Alright, so that's basically the podcast for today. We talked about time management and how we should start to
improve.
manage our time. So yeah.
And how to improve your time management skills.
Yeah. Yo, we didn't even do a lot of research. Most of these things were like impromptu. The scripts.
No, while you were talking, I was looking up sites.
Yeah, same with me, bro. Like, it's like sometimes when you're making a script for a podcast, it's like, bro, I don't want to do this.
It's kind of
Especially when we have a time
Yeah,
limit at this point. It's like, nah.
Yeah, impromptu is more fun.
Yeah, impromptu is fun. If you have a scripted podcast, I guess it would be like, yeah, I'm just like regurgitating everything that I absorbed through research, which is actually not fun.
Yeah.
If you're saying it from your head and like you're actually like meaning it, then that's impromptu. It's fun. And having an actual conversation rather than having a scripted conversation. It's doesn't sound like
Actually
a robot,
fun,
bro.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can make it fun if you have a scripted podcast.
yeah, but how can you make
then-
a script fun? You can't just like crack a joke.
Yeah.
I remember when we were.
Because like you've said the joke so many times that you can't say it with enough enthusiasm to make it
I
funny.
remember the announcements when we were doing announcements and we were like, what's it called? Whenever we would. No, it was like the scripts. We had the scripts where you had to advertise one of these sites and charities, and we were like, you need to man up, and it was not funny because it was scripted.
Yeah, because we said it so many times when we were practicing that we just and then
You got tired of it. It's like, bro, let's just say this. Let's just get it over with.
Yeah, it wasn't funny to us.
Yeah.
And like if it's not funny to us, it's not gonna be funny to anybody
Yeah, that's
else.
true. It was like what? There's like on the script that we have, like on the Google Docs, there's like 4 sentences.
Mhm.
Then we have like 4 points, and that's it. And we just talked about how.
Yo, we should.
Yeah.
If there's another group project, we should totally try that. Where we just have jot notes and we come up with the script as we
Heck no,
go.
we're gonna get like a 0. bro.
We might fail, bro, but it's gonna be so much
I
fun.
ain't doing that. Wajad does that. Like our friend Wajad like does this thing where whenever you have like this project and whenever we have this kind of speech project or like presentation, he doesn't even have a script. He just gets it off his mind and like starts talking.
Yeah, but he's good at that
He's
sort
good
of
at
thing.
that. He
He's
doesn't
good at it.
stutter, and he's not like scared. He's an extrovert.
He's just very extroverted.
He can start dancing in the middle of class, and like he wouldn't really care.
Yeah, he enjoys that
Yeah.
thing,
Honestly,
that sort of thing. I do not. I would hate it.
well, sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it isn't, because sometimes you have the feeling that everybody would judge you. But at the same time, who would remember this in the next 10 years, bro?
Yeah.
We're gonna have like
No, but he like enjoys it.
he
Enjoys it.
enjoys it. So yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
our podcast for episode 3, and it's fun. It's fun having a guest in our podcast, and
Yeah, it's not as lonely.
yeah, not as lonely as me talking to a mic. Alright, that's our podcast. See you guys for episode 4. Peace.